We have breaking news. Let's get right to it.
Past 24 hours, we've seen 34 new cases of COVID-19 here in Utah.
Following breaking news out of Utah, a magnitude 5.7 earthquake hitting just after 7 a.m. local time, about 10 miles west of Salt Lake City.
You need 100 to 150,000 tests a day.
Whew. All right. Yeah, we're recording. We are back. Episode 22 of the Isolation Podcast, Isolation Protocol Podcast, iSo20 if you want to keep it short and simple and sweet. It's been a while, and I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be back with you guys on Isolation 20 on this podcast. A podcast to get you through your quarantine. If you are quarantining, you know, we're still out here fighting COVID, right? We're about in our what? I would say this is about the seventh round, right? We're in about the seventh round with COVID, and you know, we're dodging, we're weaving. You know, we've been hit a couple times, but we still on our feet. We still here. I hope that you listening to this right now, I hope you are in good health. I hope your family is in good health. But yeah, it's a podcast to get you through your quarantine, to get you through your isolation. And thank you. I go by the name of Drerawka, and it's been a while since I put one of these out. And I guess we'll be talking about a little bit about kind of what's going on in life, and we might be getting to some news and some sports. I got some notes here, so I'm excited about that. First off, I gotta say thank you to one of my really good friends, KJ and M, for helping me out. Well, not even helping, for putting on a full baby shower for our baby girl that's gonna be coming, sooner than I even think and thought. But yeah, we had our baby shower. That was really dope. It was a co-ed baby shower. It was really the first baby shower I've ever been a part of, or well, one to even go to a baby shower, but my first baby shower that I've went to for one of my own kids, which was different. I always thought that baby showers were just for the women, right? And then, like, as I was learning more about like sending out invites to certain people, they're like, "You're doing a baby shower for your third kid?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's regular, right?" And like, no, you're only supposed to have your baby shower for your first kid. I had no idea that was a thing. But it was awesome. My family came out. Tressa's family came out. We had a good time. We played games. Played some fun games. Shout out to M for putting together those games. It was a really good time. And I actually ended up leaving with like a whole sheet of cake. And so that's kind of the weight down portion of this, right? The weight loss journey has been good, but it's been bad at the same time. I haven't been really holding myself as accountable as I should. And I'm definitely feeling it, right? I'm definitely not in the place where I was, in a place where I am just happy to gloat about it, right? And so, but this is kind of the other half of it, is holding myself accountable for not hitting the gym gyms are closed anyway. Well, the gyms that I go to are closed. But even then, making excuses for not going and taking a walk after work, or taking a walk before work, right? Things like that. Or even hitting my little weight that I have at home. Big excuses there, but I have been more active. And my eating habits haven't been really too bad. But that's just me being sugarcoating things, because obviously they are bad. They're worse than what they were, right? But this journey is not an easy one. It's not a journey where I'm just gonna go through it without any hiccups and things like that, and that's okay. I'm not living up to anybody else's expectation but my own, right? So I'm able to say in the same breath, Dre, you're wrong, right? But in the same breath, I'm able to say, Dre, you're gonna be okay. We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be all right. We're gonna do all right. So yeah, I'm excited to really just get back on that horse. And for those of you that are going through a weight loss journey yourself, you know that if you're not there mentally, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, or it might happen, but you won't be successful, right? You'll have some ups and downs and things like that, but I'll definitely keep you guys updated on it. My family is doing great. The boys are doing fantastic. Tavian and Amari. Tavian just had a dentist appointment a few days ago. He actually has one tomorrow, yeah. They did normal cleanings and stuff like that, looked at some of his cavities, and I think they're pulling 2 teeth tomorrow because his baby teeth aren't falling out on their own the way that they should. So the dentist is like, yeah, I'll be pulling out, a couple of these tomorrow and whatnot, making room for those adult teeth that are going to be coming in. And so, and he handled it like a champ. Like he's handled his dentist experience better than I did when I was a kid. And honestly, part of that is because dentists, when I was a kid, they're not the same as they are now, right? They have more tools, technology's better. When I went to the dentist, there was no cartoon characters on the walls. There was no TVs, cartoons that you can distract yourself with. There was none of that. There was, hey, you took time off of school, you're gonna go get your teeth pulled out or your teeth worked on, drilled on, and you're gonna get a shot in the mouth, and that's the most numbing that you're gonna get. Well, now they don't even shoot you in the mouth first. They numb you up and then they shoot you in the mouth and stuff like that. Pause. So yeah, he handled it. He's handling the dentist experience really well. Granted, it has only been cleanings. It hasn't really been any extensive work like fillings, or he hasn't heard that drill go off yet. So we'll see how he does though. But I'm really happy with the way that he's been carrying himself through his first dentist experience, which is really dope, and I'm really excited about his next experience. Amari he's doing fantastic as well. Little man is just growing and learning new words and talking, and he has his own little gibberish that he does. It's weird. He'll have a full conversation with you, and you might catch maybe about 3 or 4 words out of his gibberish, but he's having a full conversation with you, and it's beautiful to see his growth as a kid, and going from being a toddler. Well, he's gonna be a toddler for the next few years, right? Because I don't think they're a kid until 4, 5. Once they start hitting kindergarten, then they're a kid, but until then it's toddler, right? Or something like that. But yeah, he's been fantastic. Kid is just growing so fast. He loves movies. He loves to cuddle on his time. He loves to wrestle. He loves to be chased, right? He loves that. He loves basketball. His mom got him a basketball hoop for his second birthday, and he'll just go around and he'll take his basketballs out of his basketball hoop, and he'll jump and throw them and things like that. I think he's gonna dodgeball because he likes to throw things and things like that. And he's doing really well. Tressa's doing really good. Like I said, the baby's baking really well. We haven't had, knock on wood, no complications with the pregnancy. There was some times where Tressa didn't feel no movement, and she kind of got upset, not upset, but worried about not feeling the baby move as much as she usually would. So she went to the hospital a couple times, and each time the baby checked out fine. X-rays were fine. Everything's fine with the baby. All tests came out negative for Down syndrome and stuff like that. But you can't really tell nothing until the baby's actually here, right? And you can see and touch and feel, same thing. That was redundant. But once you actually lay eyes on the baby, you're able to inspect the baby and things like that. So I'm not while those tests in the past have been right, spot on, and my kids have came out healthy, I still am, I'm not all the way there as far as like, yeah, like we're having a healthy baby, because you just never know. But we'll be going in on November the 7th, the 6th, no, the 7th. Yeah, I think it's a Saturday. We're going in, and we'll have a C-section because we have scheduled C-sections ever since our first one. And yeah, baby will be here November 7th, and I'm really excited about it. It's our first winter baby. Winter, that's winter, right? Well, autumn, winter-ish, right? That's our first one in our family, really, because I mean, my stepmom, her birthday's in September, but I'm a summer baby. Amari's a summer baby. Tavian's a summer baby. My dad's a summer baby. My mom, everybody on my side, on my Hispanic side is a summer baby. So this is like the first one that's kind of in the winter and stuff like that, which is cool because it kind of breaks up the monotony and the planning of birthday parties and things like that in the summer. It gives us the opportunity to plan one in November now, right? So we'll have a celebration at the beginning of November, and then we'll have Thanksgiving, and then Christmas and New Year's and all, and then so on and so forth, which is cool. I'm excited about that. And with it being our daughter, I think we'll be able to make it really special during those times. And I mean, we would have made it special for my sons as well, but I don't know. I'm just really excited to have her here and have that experience of being a girl dad. And yeah, it really completes our family. It completes my family. And I've mentioned it on previous podcasts that I'm going to be getting the vasectomy afterwards. So kind of nervous about it. Waldo let me know that after the Waldo and Angel actually let me know that after the vasectomy, your balls feel like they're 100 pounds. So I'm not looking forward to that, but I am looking forward to being done and not having to worry about, not even worry, but not having to continue our family any longer. I think we're gonna be good after this. I mean, already I'm happy with my boys, and sorry to my future daughter, Anaya, I love you, but this is a wish of your mother's, and I'm blessed, I'm happy, I'm really excited to meet you, and things like that. But daddy's calling it quits after you. So if you wanted to be a big sister, sorry, it's not happening unless we adopt or something, get you a puppy or something. You can be a big sister then. But my plan is that you're gonna just be the baby, and maybe the universe has other plans, and we'll see what life throws at us. But that's what we would like. That's what Tressa and I would like as well. School did start back up, so Tavian is back in school. He is in the 2nd grade, and it's an interesting time for the young man. He's starting school with masks, and he's starting school virtually, like, because he does half in and half out for school, which it's cool, but at the same time, I don't know how I feel about it, because on one hand I'm like, if he gets COVID, he's gonna get it, but on the other hand I'm like, well, I'm working from home, Tressa's working from home, why can't you just do school from home? And it is tough being a parent and a teacher, right? Because I'm not a teacher, Tressa's not a teacher. While I did graduate high school, and I graduated with a 3.8, by the way. Shout out to Conwood High, C Wood. I definitely am not a teacher. I don't have the patience for. It's a whole new way of learning. Like, the curriculum and things like that is so different. I mean, you're talking 25 plus years ago. Well, 25 years ago, yeah, about 26 years ago. Things have changed. Curriculums have increased in a better way, which I'm excited for my son to just be smarter than me. I mean, he's already smarter than me, but it is a lot. It is a lot to take on, and I always say pay women more. We need to pay teachers more at that too, because our teachers while some of the curriculum I don't believe in, and I think that we should rethink that whole thing as far as what we're teaching our kids. I think that what they are doing is major for our future as a nation, and it's huge for our kids' lives in general. Like the things that we expect our kids to do straight out of high school is pretty intense, and they don't even learn everything that they need to learn, like credit and stuff like that, while they're in school. They kind of learn it from parents. And I don't know if you're like me, but in the 80s, parents weren't really teaching their kids, 80s and 90s, they weren't really teaching that credit stuff. It wasn't something that was prominent in the hood. Like coming from Columbia Villa, like we were just trying to survive. We were trying to get by. We were getting groceries delivered at our doorstep. You know what I mean? And not even in a Postmates type of way. There was the government sending, the Relief Society sending us a box of groceries so we can eat, right? Stuff like that. So it's like we expect a lot out of our kids for the future, which is good, but we need to set them up for success at the same time. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I'm doing it justice. And if you are a parent that feels like you are, share your tips with me. Hit me up. Let me know, because we can use all the help we can get with this damn homeschooling thing. My 9 to 5 has been busy, and cheers to that, because not a lot of people have work. And I'm not gonna say that it's not gonna slow down. I'm not gonna say that it's not gonna get tough, because there are challenges in the line of work that I do for my 9 to 5. I'm in the healthcare system, or healthcare industry, right? So while we are dealing with the whole pandemic, we're also dealing with sick patients. We're also dealing with sick employees, right? So it's tough. It is a tough time in the 9 to 5, but I'm not complaining. I'm happy, and I just really take a step back and really look at, Dre, you have the opportunity. You get to go to work, right? You get to work from home. You get to do these things. Some people don't. Some people don't have the luxury of working right now. Some people are worried about where their next check's gonna come from, or how they're gonna pay this bill or pay that bill, and things like that. So, while the 9 to 5 is busy, I can't complain about it. Shout out to all my coworkers. Some of you listen to this podcast. Some of you make fun of me about podcasting and stuff like that. But I do appreciate the support from that team. You guys are really awesome. I need to throw a huge shout out to my man Mendo and Maddie Aston. They just launched Gen 1, which is a collective that I fully support, and they got my support. And they're kind of like the little bros that I'm trying to help them navigate through this culture here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And they're doing a really good job at it. They are two creators that I feel like if they stay consistent, they'll be able to do some really dope things, and they already have. And I feel privileged to be a part of that. So salute to Mendo, salute to Maddie Aston. They had the Gen 1 launch that happened over the weekend, and that was dope. It was really cool. Everybody was masked up. Social distancing was practiced, and I got to see a lot of artists that I've done reaction videos on that maybe I haven't met in person, and that was really cool, because it was like I've been in Utah since 2005. I was born here. I wasn't raised here as a kid. Moved back during my teenage years and finished out high school here and whatnot. But I say that to say this, that I've been here since 2005, teenage years, and hit the ground running as far as being in the community, being involved in the entertainment scene, and really haven't really stopped. I've been doing it since 2005, and so I feel like I have a good understanding of the history of the Utah entertainment scene. Of course, there are things that happen beforehand, and there will always be things that happen beforehand. There's always things that happen after, right? So, but with me having kind of the knowledge and the experience that I have, I've been giving all these young artists game on certain things, and it's weird, like, because I remember when I was their age, right? I remember when I was 23, I was 21, right? And doing it. So to see what they're doing is really dope, and it's just bizarre that at one point, not very long ago, I was them, right? And so I feel like the big brother, right? I feel like the big bro that's able to help them with knowing, okay, you should meet this person. This person has done this, or they tried to do that, and maybe they can give you some insight on why it didn't work for them. Or just even connecting those dots and connecting those links between artists and producers and videographers and photographers and radio and podcasts, right? Because it is an ecosystem that can coincide together, right? The artist has a project that they need to launch. So what better way to promote it than to go to some of these local podcasts, talk about the project, but then give an individual a chance to get to meet them. That's kind of, I don't want to say that's why I started the unrestricted podcast, but it definitely helps. It's a genuine podcast where everybody so far, unless they're lying, but everybody so far has just expressed how comfortable they felt and how much they gained from it in the conversation, and likewise, right? The feeling is mutual when I have those type of people on. I'm learning, but at the same time, I'm not only learning about their craft, but I'm learning who they are as an individual, right? Because once I get to know that individual, I'm more bought into them as an artist. And I don't know why that is, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles, which is dope. So salute to Mendo, salute to Maddie Aston for their Gen 1 launch. I look forward to seeing more and hearing more from those guys. And we're neighbors. We got Studio B downstairs. So, oh yeah, by the way, I'm in the studio. If you're not watching the YouTube right now, YouTube gang, shout out to y'all, gang. I'm in the studio today. It just kind of happened that way. Also need throw a huge shout out to a bar named Sue. We have been working. We've been consistently working. And the staff there, and I can't, not even staff, but my coworkers, right, are so supportive over what I'm doing. Aside from even DJing at the bar, like they throw me so much love, so much support, and like I really appreciate it. Like it, because they don't have to, right? It could just be, oh, there goes Dre playing more music. Oh, he's here again, whatever, right? But it's bigger than that. It's not just me coming and playing music. It's me having conversations with them and connecting with them, and helping them through the struggles and tough times that they're going through too, right? Or not even tough times. Maybe they're going through something really dope. We that bar, that staff, we all had our second child. Well, we all had our children. Amari, he's 2 years old now. We all had our kids around the same time. And so our kids are like growing up together. So we're like talking parent talk through their lens and through my lens. And it's really dope, and I just really appreciate it. I really appreciate Tyson just for being a good friend and somebody that has had my back in more ways than one. Over the years, like it's hard to believe that like I've had that relationship, and we've been friends for upwards of close to, like, I would say about 5 to 7 years. Like it's really dope, and I just wanted to say thank you. And we'll be getting, I'll be there this Saturday, but we'll be getting to that here in a moment. The Unrestricted Podcast, I did mention, thank you to everybody that has continued to support that. We just reached over as a collective between Isolation 20 and the Unrestricted podcast. If you're a first-time listener, maybe you just stumbled upon the Isolation 20 podcast, this episode right now. I do have another podcast called Unrestricted with Drerawka, and that's my opportunity to sit down with individuals and just talk, maybe about a project that they got coming up, and just getting really getting the opportunity to get to know them so that the people can get to know them, so that it entices them to follow them on their journey. Because it happens a lot where I'll use Post Malone as an example. Post, before that Joe Rogan podcast, he had fans. Of course, he had supporters. But that podcast, people got to see him in a new light, and he gained people that, fans from people that maybe talked down on him or maybe didn't understand him. He gained fans from that because they're like, oh, this dude is actually dope. He's really cool. He has a cool outlook on life, and he's not just a Bud Light sipping, cigarette smoking Utah guy, right? Because he is a Utah, by the way, if you were questioning that. But yeah, so that's the Unrestricted podcast. And like I mentioned, we have reached over 1,500 downloads on the platform. So yes, thank you. It's so dope, and it's so dope to see the growth on what we're growing here, right? As a community, the all rock community, we are rocking. I said this maybe about 3 months ago, 2 months, 3 months, man, maybe at the beginning of the year. You know, I and I'll continue to say it. Like, I have no anticipation of stopping anytime soon. I enjoy the stuff that I do. I enjoy podcasting. I enjoy creating content, right? The YouTube gang. Oh my gosh, we just surpassed 400 views, or not views, 400 subscribers. So like that at the same time is like a huge accomplishment, because at the beginning of the year, we didn't even have 100. We didn't even have 100 subscribers. The community naturally, organically has grown to 400, and that's huge. We've, I don't have all the analytics here with me, but I have a giveaway going on to kind of show my appreciation for everybody, and just, you know, lending me your ears and your eyes. I got a giveaway because I want to do something nice for you guys. And I've always talked about wanting to do a giveaway, whether if it's a t-shirt, a cup, whatever. So I was like, well, let me feed people, right? So I got a $25 gift card to Cheesecake Factory. I haven't even had Cheesecake Factory, but I hear good things about it. I have a Cheesecake Factory that's kind of down the street from my crib. And so I was like, let me get you guys a $25 gift card there. The giveaway is going down on Monday, September the 28th, 2020. I'll be pulling a random subscriber from YouTube and possibly IG. I might even have something special for the IG support. But yeah, that's going down on Monday. Just a token of my appreciation. I need to throw a huge shout out to the Let's Go podcast, Highline Tag 2, Erica Hammond, Junior Hammond, the Hammonds, right? Excuse me. They have embraced me so much, and they have just been great. And I see the growth within their podcast, through thick, through thin, through everything right now. I believe it's episode 14 is what we're on right now, and I've produced every single moment of that, you know, audio, visuals, everything. And so it's been fun, and it's been different. I'm learning a lot, and you know, I feel like Junior has something great. Well, I know he has something great, and you know, he's going to continue to do something really, really dope. And you know, there are some things that I'm kind of privileged to that I can't release, because obviously it's not my information to release, but he has some really cool things coming down the pipeline, and Q4 and Q1 are going to be interesting. And make sure you guys go check out the Let's Go podcast with Junior Hammond. I'm guarantee you're going to enjoy it. What else? I know that I'm supposed to be getting into news and sports, and we're already 30 minutes in. But it's been a while, right? And I hope that I'm not boring you guys. I hope that you guys are having a good time with me. I got to throw a huge shout out to U92, right? 92.5 FM, the radio station. If you are not a local here in Utah, you can definitely go and download the U92 app. It's U92 SLC on the iOS store or the Android store. It's a dope app. It's probably one of the best apps out there for radio. Really cool features on it, and really user friendly. And I think you guys would enjoy adding it to your library. I just finished up my first on-air shift, and it's bizarre. It's bizarre, and the reason why it's bizarre is because I've been there before, right? I've been on radio before, and it's probably been close to 10 years since it's about 2000. Yeah, I'd say about 10 years, maybe 11 years since I first was able to, not radio, but U92 specifically, because I co-host a show with or a segment with Booker and sometimes Lyric as well, for Dog 'em Out back in the Dog 'em Out days. So it wasn't new in that sense, but it was new in the sense of I wasn't a supporting role. I'm the voice, I'm the talent, right? And so that's a little, it's a little bit intimidating, but not really at the same time, because I've been doing this, right? I've been talking to you guys, and honestly, I don't want to say there is a difference, but it's I don't know. I'm trying to, my mind is going a million miles a minute right now, trying to explain the feeling that I've had having my first on-air experience by myself. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to be able to do this. I feel like a lot of the keeping my head down, working, staying positive, and all of the things that I put in place for 2020, even before 2020, to be honest with you, are kind of working themselves out, right? I feel like, that saying of trust in the process is real. There's been a lot of roadblocks this year, right? A lot of adversity that I've faced, not only myself, but the people that I work with, the people I talk with, my family. You listening to this right now, you have faced adversity this year. There's no way you haven't, because this is an unprecedented year. This is unprecedented times. This is I'm saying things that you guys already know. So what I'm trying to say is, that saying of trust in the process is really coming to fruition, right? It's really coming to light and to real life. Not even with the U92 opportunity, but or the radio opportunity, but just with other things that are coming down the line. It's crazy, and I don't know how to explain it, other than if you are somebody that started something and you had a vision for it, continue that, because you need to trust in your process. Or if you are working with a team and your team has one solid vision, continue that vision and trust in your process, because if you keep your head down, you work and you stay consistent and you hold yourself accountable, it's gonna pay out in some way, shape, or form. It might not be like the end goal. Like, it was never my goal to be on radio. Although, like, when I was in kindergarten, when your teacher says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" and you write on a little paper, I wrote down radio. Kind of crazy, right? Kind of crazy. I wrote down that I wanted to be in radio. And my number one inspiration for that, right? The one thing that really, my inspiration for radio back when I was a kid was PK's Playhouse with Jammin' 95.5 in Portland. they were just something crazy. There was something wild, like something that we've never seen before. Like as kids, we're like, holy crap, like they're doing what? They're saying what? They're doing all of this? Like it was just really really bizarre to see. And so that was my inspiration. That was my inspiration for wanting to do radio. And I found another way to do radio, right? Which was podcasting, which is why in 2013, 13, I started my first podcast. Now, while that podcast is no longer around, I did learn a lot of things from that podcast. And like little by little, I stayed on the same path, right? I had the same vision, and my vision hasn't, it's been blurry at times, trust me, but I stayed on that path. I trust in the process, and we're here right now. And then in another 5 to 10 years, I'll be looking at this day being like, that was a part of the process, right? I had to get to here so I can get to there, right? And so I don't want anybody to listen to this podcast and think, wow, like Dre just started a podcast one day and he just ended up on radio, right? Or he ended up with the opportunity to be on radio. That wasn't the case at all. It was just keeping my head down, working, and you know, the universe aligned itself that way, you know. And who knows? I don't know if I'm gonna be on the radio, you know, in a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now. Like I don't know what the future holds with that. All I know is the present, and what the present is me trying my best. Me trying my best to fill my commitments, right? And at the same time, you know, trying to fill my obligations and my commitments, but then at the same time, filling those commitments to myself as well, right? Not stopping my podcast, not stopping this content on YouTube, not stopping helping other creators create, not stopping helping people get to where they need to go, and then sending them off, right? Because I love doing that. If you are somebody that is looking for help, because there's no benefit in me just holding my knowledge, right? There's no benefits there. There's not, because the knowledge that I have is minuscule to what Google has, right? The only thing that's different between me and Google is that personal connection, is that I'm physically doing it, right? And I can show you what's worked for me, what doesn't work for me, and give you the tools. And then it's up to you to build the house, right? I forget, I think it was Joe Rogan. It might've been Rogan that said something along the lines of, I'll tell you the answers. You're not going to do it though. Or maybe it was Gary Vee. It was one of those guys that essentially said, look, I can give you the answers, but it doesn't mean that you're going to go do it, right? Because that means you have to put in the work. Not a lot of people want to put in the work, or they don't want to stay consistent. And they just, you know, over a couple hiccups and a bumpy road, they just call it quits. And that's where I feel like a lot of people fell in losing track of what it is that they want because of maybe a bump in the road or something. I don't know. I'm off on a tangent, but I just really wanted to say thank you to everybody up there at the station, Nick, Rawk, Bang, Booker, everybody, Josue, Jake, everybody over there at the station that has embraced me as a digital correspondent, embraced me and given me tips and tricks and knowledge and time, right? That's the biggest thing is, you know, a lot of radio personalities and radio guys, that's not their only gig, right? A lot of times they have another gig that's going on at the, you know, while they're doing that. And so for you to just give me your time, that means the world to me. And, you know, I greatly appreciate it. I don't know if I mentioned in my last podcast that I talked to Killer Mike, but I did have a conversation with the legendary Killer Mike of Run the Jewels. He man, what a guy. It was a 2-part interview, and I can't, like I said, I can't remember if I talked about this on my last pod or what or not. But it was something. I was so nervous. It was a Zoom interview, obviously, because there's no in-person conversations because of COVID. but it was my first one. It was my first sit down with somebody on behalf of the station. And then 2, it was my first time using Zoom conferencing, right? And I'm the one that set up the conference. I set up the meeting. I sent the invites. I'm talking to the label and things like that. And so it was intimidating. But for my PD to have that much confidence in me and that much faith and trust in me, that 1, I'm not gonna make the station look bad, but 2, that I'm able to just do it, right? That means the world to me. That's so much confidence. And that's another thing is why I don't want to let people down, is for somebody to put their time and effort in me and give and believe in me and making that happen. Oh man, it puts a lot of pressure. And so I was really nervous for the Killer Mike conversation, but it was really cool. And I think it was meant to be that was my first one, because so Run the Jewels, they dropped RTJ4, Run the Jewels 4 back in June. And that was their 7th. It was 7 years since Run the Jewels 1. And the crazy thing is that the day of, I'll never forget this day. The day of that conversation was August 12th. August 12th was my oldest son's birthday. It gets even crazier. My son turned 7 that day. So, I'm getting chills. So we're talking. I'm like, Mike. I was like, Uncle Mike, right? Because he called my son nephew. He was like, well, what's a nephew? He did a full shout out, birthday shout out to my son, and that's something that I will always cherish, and that will always mean a lot to me. Even aside from like music and stuff, what Killer Mike is to Atlanta, what he is to the state of Georgia is motivating and inspiring for me to try to do that with my community here in Salt Lake City, right? Different spectrums, different communities, but can still have the same impact, right? And so that's why he means so much to me. I love that show, Trigger Warning, on Netflix and stuff like that. So that one I was extremely nervous for, but I feel like it went really well. Mike and I are best friends now, right? Like it's crazy. And then the second one, the most recent one, I haven't talked about this one yet, is and you might have seen it. Oh, by the way, all of these are available on U92's YouTube page. So you can go and check out the full visuals there on the YouTube page, U92 SLC on YouTube. The second one was an icon, somebody that means so much to me, somebody that means a lot to you, and you may not even recognize it or notice it. And I think he's going to be one of those artists that we're going to acknowledge in a major way once he passes. And I hate to say that, but I think that's the reality of a lot of people that do great things, right? Neo. So I got to sit down and Zoom with legend, icon, singer, songwriter, dancer, actor, host, 3-time Grammy Award winning, 14 nominations. Neo, like, it's just crazy. But I wasn't nervous for that one. It was really bizarre. That one, Neo comes on and we talking, and then we start the conversation. And it was during our hurricane. It was during our hurricane winds. Obviously Utah doesn't have hurricanes, but we had hurricane type winds. So anytime I say hurricane, so don't think that like it's an actual hurricane. We just had hurricane type winds. So trees were uprooted, powers were out around the city. Thank God, thank the universe that we had power at my place, so I was able to do the conference or the Zoom meeting. And so during all of that, Neo, I explained to him that, hey, I might disconnect because we got a lot of wind outside, and he was really concerned. He was like are you safe? Are you cool? Like, should we postpone this? And I'm like, nah, let's get it done. Let's do this. And it was just it was like talking to a cousin. As bizarre as that sounds, I felt really comfortable. He felt really comfortable, And on top of that, this meant the world to me. This meant more than me even talking to Neo, was that I had the label approved that we were able to bring a listener on. So a listener got to come on and talk with Neo too. And that's a huge thing with COVID. While yes, it sucks, I think that if we were having that in person, he's in Utah, he's in the studio, I don't think a listener, and maybe they would, but I think that it's just easier to have those kind of meet and greets, right? Via Zoom, right? You don't have to worry about the artist's safety. You know, if the listener goes off on a tangent or curses or something like that, we can just edit that part out, right? So I think that having these kind of opportunities is dope. And you know, I can't thank my PD enough for having that much confidence in me and just stepping in and doing it, right? And we did the sticker smack. We got a new segment called Game Time with Bangerang and I, and we're just gaming, right? We're checking out the new games. Most recently, we did Madden 21. So definitely go check that out. It's on the YouTube page. But it gives us a chance to game and have a conversation back and forth, talking about life, talking about games, talking about music, you know, pop culture. So it's kind of in a podcast in its own lane kind of thing. But yeah, some more things to come on that. So definitely, we got a giveaway on that video too. So definitely go check that out for your chance to win something. I'm not going to spoil it here just because if I do it here, you won't go back and listen to it there. So go check that out. Today is the first day of autumn, fall. You know, I just realized too, or not realized, but I just found out that Americans are so tight with their money that we went from being autumn to fall because it costs more money to get those letters printed up in the paper. So just a random thing that I just found out. But yeah, first day of fall, I got the pumpkin smell going on not only in the studio, but at home too. My girl got it all festive and stuff like that. I love this time of year. I love to see the leaves change, the colors change. Halloween is right around the corner. I kind of have an idea of what I want to be, but my mind is always changing, forever changing with the whole costume thing. But I love it. Okay, I think that's about. Oh, I need to throw a huge shout out. I want to throw a shout out to all of my podcasting friends. I've had a lot of serious one-on-one conversations with my podcast friends that you know, I want to thank them for staying consistent. Shout out to the other side of the Beehive, Justin and Angel. I just recently sat in on their episode 2 weeks ago. So salute to Justin and Angel. They have some I think they're called cozies. You know, the little things that you put your cans in to keep your hands from freezing or your cup cold. They got some of those that they're gonna be selling, so definitely go check them out. Salute to the other side of the Beehive. The Young OG Perspective. While they are not a podcast, they've made that extremely clear now. I talked to Zoe and you know, he was like, Dre, he's like, we're not a podcast. He's like, we kind of I don't want to say got forced to be in a podcast, but they started off as a visual platform, right? A YouTube platform. And you know, they started putting the audio out as a podcast because it fits, it works, right? The things that they talk about and the way that they do it on their platform, it works in an audio setting as well. So it made sense for them to kind of have a podcast type of thing. But salute to them. They got a lot of cool things going on. They got the Young OGs late night or something like that. It's kind of like a late night talk show type of feel where they have an artist perform and they do the interview, and it's dope. They had the visuals look dope on it. I believe Inglewood Films, or at least Pell, is involved with that. So salute to those guys. Go check them out. The Young OG Perspective. I also need to throw a shout out to DB and Big Buddha. Those are two of my bros. They're crazy. They're nuts. I think they'll be coming over and podding with me pretty soon here. If not, I'm gonna force them to. They don't know it yet, but I'm gonna force them to. Salute to them. Salute to the Geek Show podcast. Still staying consistent. Still giving us that geek podcast love. So if you are somebody that does love geeky type news and things like that, they have a cool. And they've been when I have homies that are like, Dre, you like the OG of this podcast stuff. Like you the pod father and all that stuff. I'm like, no, I'm really not. Like the real OG is Kerry Jackson. Like when I first moved to Utah, I seen commercials on Comcast on demand from the Geek Show podcast. So that's really the OG. And salute to him. He doesn't do podcasts. I've never seen him do another podcast like other than the Geek Show, but I would love to just sit down and talk with him. And the crazy thing is that he's part of Radio From Hell, which is X96, which is a sister station up at Broadway Media. So who knows? Who knows what the future can hold with that? That'll be really cool though. And it'll be really dope to have that conversation with him. Who else? Yeah, I think that's. Did I get everybody? The Young OG Perspective, the other side of the Beehive, Geek Show, Big Buddha, DB. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I'm sorry if I did not mention you on here. Oh, the Let's Go podcast, duh. I already mentioned them earlier, so I was like, I already did them, but definitely go check out the Let's Go podcast with Junior Hammond. Really dope things with him, man. I got to produce my first Zoom podcast, which was dope as well. So with him, because he talked to some guy in Canada, so that was dope. Okay, we're almost done with this podcast, but we'll go ahead and jump into it anyway. Here comes the news. All right, so in news, what's his name? Governor Herbert here in Utah. He was like, things are getting out of hand. Utah County is kind of that Provo, Orem area. They are out of control. Their COVID totals are like 15. Well, I got it here. 15,828 cases. That's 227 more cases. You got to keep in mind that their population is a lot less than Salt Lake. Salt Lake County, we have 28,453 total right now. As I'm recording this, we've had 247 deaths here in Salt Lake County. Overall, though, deaths in Utah, we have 441 deaths in the state of Utah. COVID, and we have 664,406 cases here in Utah alone. United States as a whole, as a total, as a country, we are sitting at 6,800 and 6,889,000. Is that right? I'm horrible. I told you my son's smarter than me. 6,809. No. Yo, this is the part of the podcast where you guys just started laughing at me. 6,089,000 total cases here in the state of Utah, or here in the United States, and we have over 200,000 deaths here in the United States. I did see, because the president he didn't at first didn't mention the 200k deaths, and so a protester went and stood in front of the White House and held up a sign that said that he lied. And had the total of the exact total. It's over 200k deaths here in the United States. Please, if you feel sick, if you feel sick, stay home, right? Don't go to work. Don't go out into the store. And if you're somebody that has nobody, I know that can be a challenge. I know that can be tough. There are resources out there. There are individuals that are delivering groceries for those people that that have nobody, right? You don't have a mom, a dad, a sister, a brother, an uncle, an aunt. You don't have cousins. There are groups out there. I've actually did my research on it, and I should have had the groups' names, but just Google with your health department. They'll definitely help you with that kind of stuff. And mask up. That's another thing. We need to stay masked up and wash those hands. Okay. What else do we got? Oh, today is the National Registry Day. This is the kickoff day for registrations for voting. National Voter Registration Day is today. I actually had to go and check and make sure that I was registered to vote because I had an address change, and so I was like, damn, I gotta go register to vote, because anytime you had an address change, you have to do that. If your address on your ID does not match the address that you're staying at, you have to go and do that. So I checked mine today. I am good. My ballot's in the mail for me to get my mail-in ballot. So I'm really excited about that, to really be an adult and take this voting thing serious. So yeah, our registrations for voting, the deadline is October 23rd. Excuse me, and we're able to vote on November 3rd. So make sure that you do register to vote if you are interested in that. If you are not, you don't have to voice your opinion. I don't care. If you don't want to vote, you don't want to vote. But for those of you that do want to vote, get registered. I think that's important. Okay, what else we got? Oh, Bobby Shmurda. So for those of you that don't know Bobby Shmurda, you should. He's a young brother from New York. He a rapper that is currently finishing up his prison sentence. He's one of those guys that had the chance to get out early if he would have, for lack of a better word, snitched on his homies. But he held it down. He said, nah, I'm not snitching. I'm not taking early leave for more information if my dogs can't leave at the same time. So he took, I think it was an additional 7 years or something like that on his sentence because his homies, they had to finish out their sentence. So Bobby Shmurda, his parole was denied, so he will not be getting out early, but he will be being released, and his term ends in 21, so 2021. I look forward to seeing what Shmurda got's coming out, because we heard what he did with Tekashi while he was locked up, and his flow is nice. And you know, I think the culture is gonna embrace him even more now that he stuck to his guns. And he didn't fold, he didn't bend, he didn't fold, and he, he's gonna finish out his sentence. Hopefully, everything's good. Hopefully, there's no late news that comes out about him and them trying to bury him under the jail. That would suck. That young brother needs to come home so he can start his life, because he's still young. Young man went into prison, wasn't even a man yet, and I feel like, it's a scary thing growing up in prison, right? But he's gonna come out, and I feel like he's gonna be embraced, and I feel like he's going to be that guy in maybe even 2022. I think that Shmurda should not rush it. He should not rush it. Get acquainted with his family, get acquainted with the new world out here, right? And get comfortable out here and start living his life again. Okay. Because we have such a long episode, I'm gonna go ahead and let's jump into sports. So let's go ahead. Here comes sports. All right, in sports news, I gotta start off with the NASCAR, right? The big bad NASCAR. Well, the big bad NASCAR got a new face, a new team. That's right. Michael Jordan is segueing into the NASCAR league. This has been years in the making. I remember about 15 years ago, Mike started his racing team, his motorcycle racing team, and they came to Utah often, and they used the Miller Sportsway often for Team Jordan. And I remember Mike just coming down here in his right hand man, Craig. And the reason why I kind of know all this is because my really good friend is fraternity brothers with him, and I was really just privileged to be around all that during that time during my high school years. And so it was kind of like it was like a setup. Like he's always wanted, coming from South Carolina. Mike has always been into racing. You know, him and his family, they would go to the racetrack and watch the races. So I think it was heading in that direction. I think that it just makes sense now with Bubba Wallace being the driver and the face of Team Jordan going into NASCAR. But Mike didn't do it alone. He also had Denny Hamlin as a partner going into this whole NASCAR project. So I look forward to it. You know, I think that it will bring something more to the NASCAR sport, which I'm excited about. I'm not a big NASCAR guy, but my pops is. He loves the races, and I watch the race with him. You know, and sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, like, can we watch something else? But I'll definitely be watching for it. The Western and Eastern Conference Finals for the NBA have started. The Lakers are up 2-0 right now against the Denver Nuggets. I think it's safe to say that we are going to see the Lakers in the final. I think Anthony Davis is something else. The eyebrow is something else. LeBron is something else. Well, we've known LeBron, but LeBron being I don't want to say cheated, because I don't think that does justice for Antetokounmpo, Giannis. But you know, LeBron, he's definitely like, yo, I can't get the MVP. Are you serious? So he's upset, and unfortunately, the Nuggets are gonna feel that wrath. And so I definitely see the Lakers going on to the NBA Finals. But it's either going to be Miami or the Celtics, the Heat or the Celtics, to go on to the finals, as well as they are in the Eastern Conference Finals. The way Miami's playing, though, I think Miami and the Lakers would be a better matchup than the Celtics and the Lakers. But there's also the grudge match, the history of the Lakers and the Celtics, that would make a great finals as well. So we'll definitely see what happens there. But the Heat are up right now 2-1 in the series. I'm personally rooting for the Heat, but I'll be happy either way. What else we got? Sports. We got some notes here. UFC. Oh yeah, that's right. UFC 253. Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. This one is gonna be a good one. We got both of these guys are undefeated. Costa, body of a Greek god. Izzy, he's kind of having to redeem himself, right? This last fight, he didn't show off his talents. I think Costa is more of a better matchup. I think it's gonna be more electrifying. Izzy being 19-0, Costa being 13-0, should be interesting. I gotta roll with Izzy just because I'm an Izzy fan. I like him. I think that he might get Costa with the length. I think if he keeps his distance, he should be fine. I think Costa's gonna have to pressure him inside, but we'll see. This is the first fight back at Fight Island. It's going down Saturday, September 26th. I will also be at a bar named Sue, 8136 South State Street for this fight. So you should definitely come through and watch the fights with me. I believe the other side of the Beehive are going to be coming out. We might make it a whole pod community type of thing where everybody comes out and watches the fights. Those of you that are comfortable getting out and stuff like that. But yeah, UFC 253. It is a $5 cover charge, so if you do come to the bar and watch it, $5. Yeah, we have great food and stuff like that. NFL's back. Not much news there. It just started. My Seahawks are 2-0, so that's pretty exciting. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think we covered everything. Thank you for just rocking with me. Thank you guys. This is that first episode back from the hiatus. Not even hiatus, because there's never been an expectation that I'll be doing this once a week, but it might turn into that. I don't know. There's a lot going on, and I think that you guys deserve some content because you guys have been rocking with me. And thank you to everybody that has been saying that they've been missing the content, because I've been missing doing this as well. I miss, while I love my unrestricted podcast, I miss the one-on-one with me and you, right? You and I. So thank you. And yeah, be sure to follow me at Drerawka on Instagram. That's DRERAWKA. And you can go on to allrock.com. It is currently being refaced, or getting a facelift, I should say. So salute to my man Shuffles for that. And yeah, keep rocking with me. I'm telling you, we got some really cool things going on, and we will continue to give that good content. Okay? I hope you guys all have the day you deserve. Pay women more, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.